go. Train time. Where go?
Gentlemen, this school is about combat. There are no points for second place.
This is the Never Down, Never Out podcast with your host, T.R. Matson.
Welcome back, everyone. We made it. I'm going to take a moment and be proud. Not just me, but in everybody. Episode 150. Over 5 months, 5 months-ish, of Never Down, Never Out. Building block approach. Trying to do the best we can do here on this planet. And it humbles me every day that the support that I have, the listeners, the subscribers, the people that really think that my words aren't just words. It is truly, truly humbling. And I thank you all for that. So as I sit here and reflect, if you found me late, give me 30 seconds and let's talk about where we've come. This all started back in January when I surprised Mover and Gonky that I was starting a podcast. And when I say surprise, I started it. The first recording was already up when I mentioned it. And from there, we went on episodes 1 through 30, which if you're listening or watching on Spotify, if you go over to YouTube, these are all categorized. It's very easy. Were foundations of mental toughness. And I try to build these playlists so people can hopefully find what they need to find. That was 1 through 30. 31, we got into discipline, habits, and daily execution. This was the grind section. This was, okay, we've built the foundation. What do we have to do daily to build upon that foundation? That went all the way until episode 90. And then in episode 91, that is the current cycle that we are in, resilience, failure, and the comeback mindset. Episode 91 until today, episode 150. And this is all of okay, you got momentum, you're going, and life hits you, or there's negativity, or there's haters, or there's, failure. There's things that come up along the way that make it harder to get to your goal. Tomorrow, we start the fourth section. And that is when we're going to start talking about identity, purpose, and personal leadership. One way that you could think about this whole thing is we broke everything down and we're rebuilding up. But in the process of rebuilding, there's setbacks. And we've dealt with them. And then we're going to take a moment to look at it again and go, okay, what are we really doing here? And I think the next section is going to be good. I appreciate everybody sticking with me. You're all crazy for doing it, but I love you. So today, the final episode of this section, episode 150, adversity can become your advantage. So many examples of this that I've talked about. Not fitting the mold of a naval aviator. I'm a big guy, big personality. Having air sickness issues early on, having to deal with that. It was horrible, but it taught me how to deal with things that are uncomfortable, physically, mentally. Being grounded out of the blue for no reason, really, other than some instructor was some instructor, and who knows what he was going through. Maybe he was having a bad day. I don't know. But it took it out on me that day, and it caused a month worth of issues. But it showed me how I could make a difference and how I could be resilient and become stronger by going out there and not disappearing, right? In fact, putting myself kind of in their face. Like, hey, I'm not going anywhere. That lesson became massively important later on in my naval career, where I had to fight for things. The adversity often is where we build our greatest strengths. Now, would it be nice if we could go through this world and never have adversity? Probably, yeah, that would be a pretty nice life, right? But the problem with that is I don't think you would reach your potential because you would be in your comfort zone and the people around you would not be pushing you to your max potential. You wouldn't get uncomfortable. It wouldn't hurt. You wouldn't have to really dig in. That sounds more like existence than living. Gonki and I often talk about the things that happened after I did the Hornet transition. Things that I'm not 100% prepared to talk about on the internet with how the Navy handled some things. And he would often say, I told you you shouldn't have done the transition, man. I told you should have just stayed in the Hawkeye. And I would laugh because I look at all of the things that have come from me doing that. All of the things that I'm blessed with in my life are because I ran into the adversity that I did. I'm a stronger individual now. I'm a better husband. I'm a better father. Heck, I'm a better pilot. But if I had never gone through that, I wouldn't be who I am today. My wife and I often talk about regrets. She goes, do you have any regrets? And I genuinely don't. Because everything I've done, good, bad, and in between, has caused me to end up right where I'm at today. And if I did anything differently or easier or didn't have the adversity that I had, I'm not sure I'd be where I'm at. And I'm not prepared to take the risk that where I would be is better than where I'm at. So we often look at adversity as something that is just this bad thing and we try to avoid it. But often the greatest advantage you could do is run right through it. Know it's coming. Push right through it. Because by the time you get on the other side, you're so much stronger and so much closer to your goals that you'll forget all about it. I don't look back at the things that happened to me in my career and go, oh, woe is me. I barely even think about them. The negative things, the adversity that I dealt with, I barely even give it thought or brain space. But when I do, I usually laugh. I'm usually like, that was so ridiculous. That was ridiculous to have to live through. But I don't harp on the negative. I relish in the strength that I built. The lessons that I can teach my children, the internet now, the conversations I can have, the stories I can tell, the experiences I've been through. I've said it before, there's people that I'm friends with that seemingly got everything they wanted. Went to the Naval Academy, got a pilot slot, flew fighters, do their whole career, and then don't get hired by the airline they want, and they crumble. While a life without adversity might sound nice on paper, if you as an individual have to compete with somebody else and you've had to work through adversity, you've got an unfair advantage if they have not. So don't look at adversity as a bad thing. Look at it as something that's going to build the person you are, make you stronger. And when you get through it and you're successful, you'll be far more proud of the accomplishments that you've achieved. Thanks for tuning in. I'm not going anywhere, so I'll see you tomorrow for episode 151. Have a great day.
T.R. Matson is a 20-year Navy career combat veteran who flew the E-2C Hawkeye and FA-18C Hornet. He's the author of Treason Flight and Vengeance Flight. You can reach him at trmatson or trmatson.com. Thanks for listening to the Never Down, Never Out podcast.